Well, Kurdistan is the name of the country, or sometimes it's also referred as a geographical place, region, uh, which is occupied by the Kurdish people. It is also a historical place, but also it's actually a country which is separated or occupied by four different countries today. So we can basically say it is divided in four. First part is in Turkey, where I'm from. The other part is in Syria, northern Syria, and northern Iraq, and Iran. So I think that's how we can define Kurdistan.
What is it like growing up Kurdish in the Turkish region of the Kurdish?
Well, I was born in Izmir, more specifically in the very small county called Ödemiş, and everyone was Turkish, and I can say it was very hard for us to be born in a such under such atmosphere because we couldn't even say we were Kurdish because people were extremely racist. They probably never seen a Kurdish in their life before, and it was hard actually because you couldn't speak your language, certainly not in public schools or any public sphere, because states did not allow to use your fundamental rights basically. And that's actually one of the reasons why I want to study in Diyarbakir, or we call it Ahmet, because it was the heart of the Kurdistan. And I just wanted to spend some time and get to know my people in Kurdistan, and that was the reason.
What was it like moving to a more Kurdish area and spending time learning beside your people?
I realized that I actually need to live in Kurdistan, especially in Ahmet, because you spend your whole life in a city or a region, but the system never makes you feel uncomfortable because you always feel the system makes you feel that you are not welcomed just because of your identity. But when I first went to Kurdistan, especially in Ahmet, I really felt like I was at home, And this is also true for today, but I now want to spend my rest of my life in Ahmet, even today.
Perhaps you could tell us about your decision then to leave Kurdistan and study law in Bremen.
Actually, the biggest reason why I wanted to study law in Europe, because I realized that my people needed qualified lawyers in our region. We have many lawyers, we have many great lawyers in Kurdistan and across the world, Kurdish lawyers, and I also wanted to be one part of it. And I decided to, if I can go to Europe and take some legal education in Europe. It's not because of my personal
Gains.
aims. I thought maybe perhaps in that way I could serve my people better because I need to know law. Because my people are in destitute position and they need to be advocated. I think this is the main reason why I'm in Europe at the moment. To gain more experience and get to know the world and know to other legal systems and to see other minority groups and to learn their legal status, so I can also implement those rules and those facts into my region for my people.
Has there anything that you've picked up on while we've been in Brittany this week or since you've come to Europe that you found interesting that you didn't know before about these minority communities in Europe?
Well, first I didn't knew that in Europe there were many different minority groups. Honestly, it's probably my fault to not know it. But what I realized is that every minority group have suffered and they are still suffering. But we are the worst among all the other minority groups. But I also felt very, I don't know, I felt the solidarity among the other minority groups, and it's made me very, very comfortable. And it was a very good experience for me.
Yeah. Could you tell us about the aims of the Kurdish movement that you've, at least maybe in your area, what things are they trying to forward politically. Yeah.
We as Kurdish in Turkey, we want to more democratic state. And this not only works for us, it works for the whole Turkish community and all other minorities as well. We want to establish a strong, solid state with the Turks, without separation. But in order to do that, we believe autonomy is what the Turkey is needing and what it lacks. And it's my personal opinion, the unitary form of administration of Turkey is also not appropriate for Turkey. I believe Turkey is already need to be administered in local regions, autonomous regions, like in Germany and United States. Therefore, our final aim is that first we need to change the constitution of Turkey, which states in Article 66 of their constitution that everyone's Turk, which is not. I'm not Turk, and I don't need to be Turk. And when I say I don't need to be Turk, it shouldn't shake the structures of the state. It doesn't make sense. We believe we can create a more democratic and a more respectful state, which isn't good for everyone else. It's good for all of us. So our final aim is to make the peace and make the state a more democratic. Easily, that's how I can say. And I also want to highlight that call for political parties in Turkey. This is only one of the examples. In Article 81, explicitly prohibits political parties to advocate the rights of minorities. Well, I think it's a shame that this article is still in force. It cannot be accepted just because you demand the rights of the minorities in a society. You should be punished, and we have many political parties closed for this basis. Many Kurdish parties closed, and I can also say this is one of the aims we want to achieve. This way is to being more democratic. States needs to be more democratic. Society needs to change. They need to raise their awareness to be more respectful to the others. And they should stop afraid.